Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Soylegi. Am I the a-hole for being upset my girlfriend put an AirTag on my motorcycle to prove a point to her mom? I'm 27 male and my girlfriend is 33 female. Although our relationship started out very intense and unpredictable, we quickly developed strong feelings and have been together for 3 years. Despite being together that long, I just met my girlfriend's parents for the first time a few weeks ago. She is an only child and said she didn't want to introduce anyone she dated to her parents unless she knew this was the person she wanted to marry. Her parents also live abroad and due to COVID and her dad's health problems, they didn't visit her for a while. She usually went to visit them. It was a big step for her to tell me she wanted me to meet them, and I did my best to make a good impression. I was raised by my grandmother. When she passed, my older sister took over caring for me. My girlfriend has had a stable upbringing. Her parents are wealthy and she's led a privileged life. We don't have the same life experiences and it was never a problem until I met her parents. If anything, for some reason, the differences between us added to our relationship in many ways. Unfortunately, I got the impression her parents were scrutinizing every aspect of my life over the dinner we had on our first meeting, and this included my family. I stayed true to myself and maintained my confidence, but left the interaction feeling like I bombed a test. My girlfriend reassured me they liked me, but her mood over the few days afterward suggested otherwise. I called her out on it and pressed her for an explanation. I learned she's been upset because of a fight she had with her mother following the dinner. Her mother thinks I'm just having fun with her daughter, that I will get bored and leave her, and she's too old to be wasting time with me. Apparently, her mother got this impression entirely from the way I look, and this judgment about me trumps anything else I shared about myself. My girlfriend and I decided to have me spend more time with her family over the coming holidays, so I have been going over every day and involving myself in shopping trips, etc. with my girlfriend and her mom. All this hoping that she would get to know me and overcome whatever skepticisms she has. I even spent hours getting a crash course in a strategy game her dad plays and started playing with him to continue learning it as a form of bonding. Despite feeling like I won her dad over, I felt like her mom was constantly evaluating my loyalty in subtle, unrealistic ways. Examples include overanalyzing how I interact with others in public, reading too much into the way I smile, and the way I show affection toward my girlfriend. According to my girlfriend's mom, the fact that I have a motorcycle makes me extra slutty, and that's how this escalated. My sister and I have an 18-year-old dog. It's been a tough few months for him. I think he's approaching the end. For that reason, usually one of us is always with him. He's on the smaller side, so he's easy to bring along anywhere. I've had to leave to give medicine to my dog at certain times of the day because he's on a schedule, and I guess my girlfriend's mom found even this to be suspicious. The other day, I left my girlfriend and her family to go give my dog his medicine, and on my way there, my phone alerted that an AirTag was traveling with me. When I reached my place, I searched all my pockets and stuff and eventually found it on the motorcycle itself. It was connected to my girlfriend's mom's number. I told my girlfriend and my girlfriend said she put her mom's AirTag on my bike to prove to her mom that I was not lying about where I was going. I get that she was trying to defend me, but I feel angry at her. It's hard to articulate, but ever since I met my girlfriend's family, microaggressions by her mom are really getting to me, and it's hard to separate them from my girlfriend. Hoping I'm just overstimulated by all this and things will get better after Christmas is over. I'm not sure if I'm an a-hole for being cold toward my girlfriend about the AirTag though, but it's a frustration that I'm having trouble letting go of. What? Hopi, I'm sorry, but you're not overreacting at all. I find that to be a red flag. Yes, honey, I put an AirTag on you because despite me trusting you, I just had to prove my mom wrong that you were cheating, because that's a perfectly valid and sane reason. Here's how that should have gone in a regular family. The mom says, I think your boyfriend is cheating. The girlfriend says, Mom, you don't know him at all. You're judging out of nowhere. I know and love and trust my boyfriend. Thank you for your opinion, but that's it. But putting an AirTag to appease her, like, this is a 33-year-old woman we're talking about that's allowing her mom to guide her actions. That's a red flag in and of itself, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Alternative Lie 9486 says, not the a-hole. The fact that she is so dependent on her mother's approval raises concerns for me. Capitulating to spying on you so her mother can be satisfied is crossing a line. Your girlfriend is allowing this bad behavior to continue. She should have set a clear boundary from the start. Instead, she is leaning into her mother's nonsense. You have nothing to prove to this horrible mother, but be really cautious about being with someone of 35 who is unable to stand up to her mother. Cataphractic Beaver says, the most foundational part of a relationship is the trust between two people. The fact that she didn't tell you about it sounds like she also wanted to see what you were doing, because if she trusted you, she should have defended you. Parents are and have been skeptical since the first cave person brought another back to their parents. It's up to her and you to convince them otherwise. You seem to have done a lot, so it may just come down to direct face-to-face conversations with the 3 or 4 of you to really hammer this home. Otherwise, who knows what else will be done next to test your loyalty? And Opie responds, that's what I've been struggling with. The fact that she didn't let me in on her plan makes me wonder if she wanted to test me too. Even if that's not the case, the whole approach has pissed me off. And I Wanna Be Anemone says, not the a-hole, but this is not a healthy relationship. She doesn't trust you. She doesn't believe you as yourself is good enough in her parents' eyes, but instead of standing up for you and setting strong boundaries, she pulls out a list of circus tricks her new toy can pull off to entertain her family. Opie, are you sure it's you that the mom doesn't trust to stay in the relationship? Or could it be that your girlfriend has a history of red flag parades that have made others run for the hills? Of course, if they're unhealthily enmeshed, then if that were the case, no way would the blame land on their precious daughter, because if she's flawed, then the mother thinks she's being judged for how she was raised. Look, the unstable beginnings, the lack of boundaries and trust, the actual legit stalking via an AirTag, none of this is healthy. Please realize the situation is toxic. Either get couples therapy or run for the hills, because it won't get better without trust. You can't trust her not to stalk you on her mother's word. She doesn't trust you enough to set reasonable boundaries with her mom. The community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, but they also raised the points that that wasn't the big issue. The issue here was trust and no boundaries. Now, the post that we just read does not have an update per se, but we do have a follow-up post with an update about everything that happened after the AirTag. So let's move on with that. The post is, my girlfriend's parents surprised me with a visit overseas. I'm considering breaking up with her. We've been together for a few years and have discussed getting married. Unfortunately, ever since I met her parents last year, their behavior, specifically her mom, has made it difficult for me to see a future anymore. Her mom mistrusts me, and it's all based on superficial impressions and assumptions about who she thinks I am. I have tried to show her parents patience, and I've been extremely respectful, giving them opportunities to get to know me and overcome their prejudices. Everything came to a head when I went to visit my home country. I have a place here, and I came to see a friend get married. Her parents showed up unannounced and requested a ride from the airport. I immediately called my girlfriend despite the time differences because I was in shock. She claims she had no idea about their plans. They claim it was all impromptu, a cheap flight, last minute, etc. I just don't buy it. Anyway, I picked them up and they're currently staying with me in my apartment. They've got no itinerary but want me to arrange them to see XYZ, and of course they need me as a translator. Everything is apparently too foreign for them. They're lost without me. They refuse to go anywhere without me as an escort. My girlfriend is apologetic, but I just don't see her supporting me in dealing with her parents, especially her mom, who is the instigator. The dad has no backbone and is forced to follow her. I already posted about the AirTag issue around 3 weeks ago. My girlfriend doesn't support me in setting boundaries, so as her partner, I fall into a rock and a hard place type situation. I can't tell if I'm being cold and uninviting or if these people are crazy and my girlfriend is so afraid of them she didn't even warn me about something like this. I feel like I can handle anything if she's on my side, but it doesn't feel like she is. Maybe I can't be with someone like that. Yep, OP, for me, this would be enough. They just randomly showed up at your house on an impromptu trip and demand to stay with you, that you be their translator and tour guide? That's just a load of BS. We're talking about the same parents that had her daughter put an AirTag on you because of how much they didn't trust you. I think this would be enough for me, particularly because your future wife is not strong enough to stand up to them. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section and let's quickly check out some comments before moving on to the update. Turbulent Ebb 5669 says, your girlfriend put an AirTag on your motorbike last month to prove a point to her mother. I think it's time to either accept your fate or move on and enjoy some freedom. Rando J Commando says, not the a-hole, and don't be surprised if your girlfriend not only knew about their plan, but actively participated in it. You think it's bad now, imagine how it will be once you're married to her and her mom. And Elephant No 3640 says, you're the a-hole for picking these people up at the airport and letting them stay with you, and you're the a-hole twice for putting up with all of their other nonsense. Nobody on Reddit is ever going to advise you to stay with this gal and her family nonsense, so quit posting and start moving on from this disaster. She isn't the only girl in the world. The community is calling out OP to finally open his eyes, so let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I just wanted to clarify some things. I only met my girlfriend's parents for the first time late November 2024. The reason I picked them up from the airport instead of abandoning them or telling them to go find a hotel, etc., was out of respect for my girlfriend and the relationship I wanted to have with her and her parents. After the first meeting I had with her parents in late November that I shared in my first post, I confronted my girlfriend. She apologized and eventually her mother did too. Basically, I thought we were past whatever suspicions and mistrust her mother had about me. Then this happened. In the last few days since this began, I have realized some things about my relationship. My girlfriend has been trying to play both sides. She'll tell me one thing and her parents another thing. She's been hiding some deep trust issues about me and insecurities about our relationship. Mostly her fears about me being unfaithful. I want to be clear that these fears are not because of anything that I've done. It's just how she feels. She used her parents to convince me it wasn't her craziness, and I'm pretty sure she told her mom how she felt and her mom was willing to be in on it. So, I broke up with my girlfriend and asked her parents to leave. The breakup wasn't smooth and she became extremely verbally aggressive. She said a lot of things that can never be unsaid, no matter what happens now, and in spite of all the threats she's been making, there's no hope for reconciliation. I know when I get back, it's going to be crazy. I'm not looking forward to it. Her parents were dumbfounded. I don't expect them to understand my feelings, so I said the least. I talked to her dad privately and let him know first to arrange a hotel accommodation. I put it on my ex-girlfriend to explain it to them. I told them they can contact her, but I'm asking them to leave. Also worth mentioning because it makes me angry, but her parents have been to my country several times. Her mom has gotten tons of small procedures and treatments in my country, so I'm not sure why all of a sudden they needed me as an escort. It seemed like she was trying to say she only comes to my country for her treatments but doesn't give a crap about anything else. So that's why she's unfamiliar? These people live in another world. I always feel like I'm going a little bit insane having any form of conversation with them. Their trip here was definitely to investigate me. I don't think I'll ever know what my ex-girlfriend and her mom were suspicious about. Did they think I'm secretly married or living some kind of a second life? I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to look into my employment history, etc. I feel so stupid for the kindness I extended to them. I tried to be understanding of every transgression. I let my girlfriend gaslight me into thinking I was just misunderstanding things because I didn't have parents growing up. Anyway, the friend's wedding I went to hit different because of the breakup, but it also made me realize how unhealthy and toxic my relationship was. I haven't disclosed a lot, but I think it was an abusive relationship. I am still struggling to accept that, and there is some shame creeping up that I don't understand. Why is it there? So, thanks for all the messages. Sorry for my writing skills, they aren't that great. I'm so drained from this situation. I feel like I need to sleep for a month. I didn't even feel like writing about any of this, but I felt I owed you the conclusion. Well, OP, I guess some questions are better left unanswered, so don't even worry about what your ex and her mom were thinking about you. It doesn't really matter. The good thing is that you're out of that toxic relationship and on to better things. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user AimRich. Describe the food? You got it, boss. Many moons ago, I worked at a restaurant that is part of a national chain named after a fruit and an insect. I had put in my 2 weeks notice after finding a better position elsewhere, and we were about to slightly tweak our menu, and so we're having mandatory staff meetings to acquaint ourselves with the new food. The only time that we could schedule these meetings was in the morning, prior to the restaurant opening, so that all the staff could attend. As a closing bartender who would sometimes be there until 2 to 3 a.m. cleaning up, I did not relish have to turn around and go back to work just for an hour-long, untipped, earning just minimum wage, meeting on less than 6 hours of sleep. Since I was on my way out the door and would not be employed by them when the new menu actually started, I asked my boss if I actually had to come to these meetings. He told me, if you want to work your remaining scheduled shifts, you do. Being a college student who lived paycheck to paycheck, I could not afford to lose out on a week and a half wages. So I sucked it up and went. Part of the rollout was a booklet we were supposed to fill out about the menu items, which included the prompt, how would you describe this dish? Presumably, you are supposed to come up with clever, tantalizing romanticizations of the items. Stuff like, it's a 1/4 pound of Angus beef smothered by melted cheese and tender onions. But there were no specifics about what you could or should not write. Cue malicious compliance. I sat slightly out of my manager's line of sight and looked up the nutritional values of the menu items from our corporate website on my phone. I filled my notebook out as follows. The classic bacon cheeseburger has 1,320 calories, 140% of your daily saturated fat, 28 grams, and 124% of your daily sodium, 2,860 milligrams. The BS Mushroom Swiss Burger has 1,580 calories, 155% of daily recommended saturated fat, 31 grams, and 126% of your recommended sodium, 3,100 milligrams. The Quesadilla Burger has 1,580 calories, 190 of your daily saturated fat, 38 grams, and 191 of your daily recommended sodium intake, 3,470 milligrams, etc. The next day, my boss called me into the office to discuss my booklet. He said, "Are these the real nutritional facts numbers?" I replied, "You're the manager, you should know." But yes, I pulled them right out of the company website. He said something along the lines of, "God, that's disgusting. I should be looking for a new job too. We shouldn't be selling this crap." I worked the end of my shifts and then came back as a customer a week or two later. I proceeded to order a pitcher of the strongest beer we had on tap for myself and then loudly played trivia with some of the bar regulars who were my buddies, asking them the same nutritional facts about the food. The bartender, my former co-worker who was a stuck-up bee, kept giving me dirty looks, but she couldn't say crap to me since I wasn't the loudest one in the group and we weren't discussing anything vulgar. Note to everyone, the food at Apricot Beetles is really unhealthy. Well, OP, you did what you were asked to do to get your paycheck, and you opened up someone's eyes. So nicely done, OP. Thanks for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.